Alrighty, you are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff-bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Dallas Cowboys. And why are the Dallas Cowboys 0-16? Because they have like 7 quarterbacks and they all suck. Cowboys suck, baby. Man, that never gets old. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all that's going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Or anybody's going to spend any time watching a replay this, once again, thank you so much. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away, throw it in the chat box. I usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So if you got anything to say, please feel free, fire away. And instead of me just like rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, however long it might wind up being. It was well over an hour the other night. It's good to just talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free and fire away. So before we get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, the top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon, second one's called the Lawrence Taylor, and the third one is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me, and I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if you're not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or I put a video out, you'll be notified. It's free of charge, right? What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. Then finally, also in the description box, there's 2 Facebook links. Two. The top one takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. And I say this in every video. Basically, my YouTube channel, my Facebook group, my Facebook page, which I'll go over in a minute. It's all called the same thing. I dumb it down for a moron like me, right? It's all, what's my channel called? What's the page called? What's my YouTube? What's the Facebook group called? It's all called the same thing. It makes it really nice and easy for me, right? So in the group, New York Giants, the Gridiron, the group, we have over 5,100 members, doing very, very well. There's always a lot of activity going on. Usually what I do is after I get done going live, I'll spend like the next couple of hours just putting stuff in the group and in the page. As I said, whether it's I'm just sharing an article that I saw, maybe a video, a post, a picture, just something showing some stats on a ball player, something making fun of the Eagles or the Cowboys, which are my personal favorites now. I said I try to get like at least 10 different things in the group every day. And with the season upon us, there's a ton. I'm going to Dan Dieter on you right now. There's a plethora of stuff out there every day. So I spend a couple hours just putting a boatload of stuff in the group every day. And if you become a member, not only do I post stuff in there, but the members post stuff in there as well too. So there's a ton of information. Basically 365. If I'm alive and breathing and I got internet access, there's stuff going in the group. That's a promise. And the second Facebook link takes you to my Facebook page. It's a page. I'm the administrator, so I'm the only one to post anything in there. But it's a page. It's the same thing. Once I get done going live, I post stuff in the group and I post stuff in the page as well. It's the same thing, whether it's a video, an article I'm sharing, a post, a picture, something just showing some stats on a ball player, something making fun of the Eagles or the Cowboys once again, which are my personal favorites. There's a ton. And I said I try to get at least 10 things every day, but now that the season is here upon us, there's a lot more than 10 things going in there every day, and I don't commingle them. So basically, right, the stuff I put in a page, I don't put in a group. Whatever I put in a group, I don't put in a page, right? I just try to keep the stuff separate, right? So basically, if you go to the page and you like it and you follow it and you go to the group and you become a member, as I said, darn near 365, there's a ton of New York Giants information going in there every day. But I got my guarantee, my money back guarantee, because you can't satisfy everybody. So if you go to the page, you like it, you follow it, and you go to the group and you become a member, if you're not 100%, You get your money back guaranteed. All right, well, all that stuff said and done and out of the way with. Oh, man, we were, how close were we? Damn, we were so close to getting at it. I guess I'm going to maybe if you go to my thumbnail, I'll just maybe work my way on backwards, I guess. Man, we were just so close. So close to coming out, I guess, somewhat unscathed. I mean, that one shot on Bobby McCain, that was the guy got flagged. That was a heck of a hit. I guess he got his shoulder in the front, but I mean, I guess I'm watching the thing on my phone and I'm trying to hear stuff and all that. So it was very, very difficult. I'm not sure. I mean, he got a flag thrown on that one, so I'm not sure it was head-to-head contact because you could see. I mean, he threw his shoulder in there, right? He looked like he got in the front. But I mean, it was just his head might have hit McCain's head. McCain's head, you could see that thing like flapping back. Real, he took a shot, and he went flying. I don't know, it was like maybe 5 yards, and that was a prime time hit there. Let me tell you what. But he got flagged on that one. So, but hopefully McCain is okay. Hopefully, usually a concussion. I mean, you can certainly see where he would have got a concussion out of that. But hopefully it's, nothing, obviously where it'll keep him out for an extended period of time. The problem is, was he one of those guys on the bubble? And if he was, and, if they have other options in there who are just as good or maybe better or whatever, and, McCain might have to be out for a couple weeks or something. Maybe that's the one thing that stinks about that, when you want to get injured. But with Bryce Ford Wheaton, unfortunately, I'm not sure. I didn't look and check and see and all of that because obviously the Jets play preseason games at MetLife Stadium as well. And, so I don't know if another team from, one of the Jets played one of their games, if somebody else, got their ACL. Where are we at here? There we go. Let's see. Yeah, it's a shame. As I said, I don't know if it's somebody with the Jets or somebody like whatever want to tearing their ACL that Bryce Ford Wheaton did. But I've just in my thumbnail it says, I got it. And MetLife Turf claimed its first victim, meaning I guess I guess pointing toward just the Giants victim, I guess would be, Bryce Ford Wheaton. So shame. I mean, it's a real shame because he had a good chance of making certainly had a chance making the final 53. I mean, and now did that mean he would have made the 53 and he would have suited up, or he would have been one of the 46 to suit up the first week or second week or whatever? You don't know. But he had a shot at least making the 53. Now that they, now some of the questions, the answers to some of our questions start. The crystal ball starts coming a little better in view, right? Because, we're like, and this is one of the things that's going to, happen. It's like, well, we got 300,000 wide receivers. Who we keeping? Who we letting go? Bryce Ford Wheaton gone for the season. So now is he one of the 50? Well, you don't have to worry about that no more. Then, of course, they also waived Colin Johnson, right? So, unfortunately, obviously you don't know. I mean, he came back obviously from the Achilles. You don't know if that maybe hurt his performance during training camp and in the preseason games. I mean, that you don't know. Will somebody else pick him up? Who knows? Maybe, maybe he might clear waivers. Although, I mean, with his size and all and everything, maybe he will. Maybe he won't. You have to wait and see. But the thing is that he gets waived. If another team picks him up, they just can't, we'll throw him on a practice squad. But no, you have to put him on your 53. So, so there's a possibility. Although I said with his size and all of that, he's very, very, he's very tempting to another team maybe to try to just pick up. So we'll have to wait and see. But the thing is, I said, is that, some of these things start coming into, the crystal ball starts coming a little clearer, when you have 8 or 9 wide receivers, you can maybe make the team, and one gets waived. Okay, now we're down to 8. Another one tears his ACL. Okay, now we're down to 7. Then basically all it is maybe, did David Sills do enough? Did he do enough? Nice performance. He can give you something on special teams. Did he do enough to get on the final 53? What do you think about Jamison Crowder? And then of course, then you have what are they going to do with Wan'Dale Robinson? Going to start him on the pup? Quite possibly. So, and then of course, then one of the other questions is how many wide receivers are they going to keep? Are they starting the season off with? They're going to start off with 6, or they're going to start off with 7? We're going to find out Tuesday at 4:00, 4:01, when the final 53 comes out. We will certainly know. But it says here, this is there was 300,000 articles on Bryce Ford Wheaton. I picked Big Blue View, like their stuff. Rookie wide receiver Bryce Ford Wheaton will be placed on injury reserve New York Giants after suffering a torn ACL in Saturday's preseason game against the Jets. Ford Wheaton, an undrafted free agent out of West Virginia, was bidding for a spot on the 53-man roster before suffering the injury early in Saturday's game. The beauty of this, okay, is that, obviously there is no obviously beauty in it, but he's done it so early in the season. All right. He'll be back in time for next training camp. Now, if a lot of these guys, they might have to maybe wait a little bit for the swelling to go down. It's not like, usually, he tore his ACL. Let's get right in there tonight. Let's start operating. Let's tear that baby up and let's repair it and all of that. That way he'll be good to go in 9 months now. Because sometimes they got to wait. I think like that maybe the swelling to go down. So it's not like, okay, he tore it. Let's fix it. No, he tore it. Okay, let's back off for a week or so, whatever it might be. Let the swelling go down. Then we'll go in and we'll start taking care of business. But as I said, the nice thing is that, training camp starts is in July, where here we are in August. So he has 11 months. Some of these guys are coming back in like 9 months. So if they wait a month, right, and they do it, say, towards September, what is today? The 27th. So say they do September 27th, right? That would give him basically almost 10 months before training camp starts next season. So if after surgery, he can come back in 9 months, he might be back sometime, maybe, they're not going to just throw him out to the wolves, but he can start easing his way back in, maybe around June. So who knows? Maybe by next July training camp, he might be okay. So that's the beauty of it. Was the same thing with Colin Johnson. He got injured so early last season. Unfortunately, totally wiped out his season last year. But he was able to come back from it. Now, once again, what we don't know is did the injury hamper his performance in training camp and in the preseason games? That we don't know. One thing we do know is that we were rather excited last preseason about some of his performance, the catches he was making and all. We really weren't hearing much from him this preseason, and you can't really say for the most part. We had 3 preseason games. You can't say, well, he was on the 3rd string and they played the first teamers the whole preseason, so he hardly got now. And we hardly played any of our the starters. So basically, it was backups ahoy, right? Pretty much whatever you want to say, 80-85% or whatever the snaps were taken by backups. So so I'm sure he had some opportunities in there. So unfortunately, I guess it just wasn't his season. But you don't know. He goes out there in waivers, right? If nobody claims him, who knows? It's not the end of the road, right? He might be the boomerang. You throw the boomerang out, he clears waivers, he might come back to the Giants. We'll have to wait and see. Let's see here. During the television broadcast on the Giants' second preseason game against Carolina, General Manager Joe Schoen had name-dropped Ford Wheaton for his special teams potential. Special teams coordinator Thomas McGahee also praised Ford Wheaton's potential. Said the obvious with Bryce is just his size and his speed. He's 6'4", 225 pounds or 230 pounds, whatever he is, and he runs a 4.4. Ooh, that's sweet. That's sweet. Those measurables are pretty special, McGahee said. Whenever you can get that, and with him, he's a very mature rookie. He goes about his business very professionally. He comes into meetings, he works his tail off, he's attentive, and he wants to learn. So when you have those qualities, smart, tough, dependable, right? And just those physical attributes, he has a really, really big upside, I think. Of course it is. Yeah. Now the Giants are now going to have to wait until 2024 to see if Ford Wheaton can help them. It's just a shame. You know what I mean? I say, obviously, nobody. You want to know. What's up, Terrence? You don't want nobody getting injured. It's an absolute shame. Johnson, he would have started last season. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, he was having a very good preseason last year. Absolutely. Said the thing you don't know is that, did the Achilles, he's back and all, but sometimes they say like when ACL, right? Sometimes you can come back, but a lot of times you hear is that it's the second season you come back. That's when you're as good, and some people say maybe even a little bit better than you were before you had the ACL tear. So a lot of guys come back from the ACL, maybe the first year to come back. Okay, just the stuff I hear. I don't have a torn ACL, never had one. I guess, thank goodness I've never had. I don't envy anybody who's had one, but I mean, a lot of times what I hear is that you come back like the second season and you're as good as you were before you tore. Sometimes they say, you're even a little bit better. I guess they go in there and they fix it up and you're even better than you were before. So I don't know we don't know with Colin Johnson. But I said the nice thing is that they let him out there, right? If somebody's going to, he's 6'5", 6. They don't grow on trees, right? So there is a chance somebody might, pick him up. But it's like, if they let him go, if somebody wants him, they have to put him on a 53. So that means sight unseen, the Giants let him go. You got to put him on a 53. They don't have to necessarily dress him for the games, but now you're bringing somebody in who can run routes, of course, and all, but he's not familiar with the playbook, so it's kind of tough. Put him on the roster. If you grab him because you need him, he's not going to be able to do a whole heck of a lot for you, at least right off the bat. But you never know if he makes it through waivers. Maybe the Giants wind up bringing him back. As I said, I don't know, and I guess we ain't going to know. Was the Achilles? Is he still going to need a little more time to come back from the injury? Was that what was maybe kind of hampering him a little bit in the preseason and the training camp here? That we don't know. It's a shame because we're certainly pulling for him. Especially after just hearing all the good things about him from last year. But as I say, now the crystal ball's come a little more clear. Unfortunately, two of our bigger wide receivers, right, Johnson and Bryce Ford Wheaton, are no longer, in the conversation as far as making the final 53. So, now we got Hodgins, Hyatt, Slayton, right? Then you got, Paris Campbell, Sterling Shepard, and of course, Wando Robinson. We don't know if he's going to be on the pup to start the list. Of course, you got Sills, Jamison Crowder, so it'd be interesting to see who they wind up keeping. How many they keep? Do they keep 6? Because Bryce Ford Wheaton, maybe you keep him and maybe you keep 7 because, he can help you in the wide receiver department, but also he has special teams. You can maybe say the same thing with Crowder. He can help you in special teams, or maybe with Sills. Maybe he can help you, he had a nice little connection going on there with DeVito, and of course, you got with Sills. Sills has been on the team for, it seems like, about 300 years now. He's got a connection with Daniel Jones too. So it'll be interesting to see. Then, of course, I guess the Giants, it's, they started, sure some other teams have, they started getting the ball rolling. right? So we've got some roster moves here. Now, I mean, some of these were kind of expected. Kevin Akins, the defensive tackle, Darren Evans, the defensive back, Donovan Jeter, the nose tackle, James Robinson. It just seemed like he was kind of the guy, like the odd man out. The thing was a shame was because he actually led the team in rushing. I think I saw in an article. I think he had like 79 or 80 yards rushing in the. Here we are. Is this it? Yeah. Nope. Is it down here? Nope. It was another article I saw about, but he apparently he led the Giants. Yeah, it must have been another article I was reading. Oh no, wait. Here it is. It's got to be here somewhere. Where is it at? There we go. Preseason rushing leader. He led the Giants with 74 yards on 20 carries. I mean, that's your leader after 3 games. I mean, of course, the thing is to get a lot of guys in there, of course, but he averaged like 3.75 yards a carry, basically, and that's your leader. And, of course, if you take the one run that he had away, where he cut it to the outside, he got 25, 28 yards, whatever it was, against the Jets. You take that one carry away. I mean, you're looking at, he had 19 carries for under 50 yards. I mean, and basically a lot of it's not his fault. Obviously, it just show you the lack of depth that we have, or the lack of quality depth we have as by the offensive line. Obviously, he says, Robinson, he had a surge in his numbers in the loss to the Jets, picking up 55 of his preseason rushing yards on 10 carries. But, it just seemed like he was going to be the odd man out. Because, they're not getting rid of Gray. They got Breida. They got Barkley. Now, the thing is, it'll be interesting to see what's going on with Brightwell. Right, because obviously he can give you certainly lots on special teams. It'd be interesting to say, did Corbin do enough? So this you don't know, right? You don't know. Are they keeping 3 guys? Then you got Barkley, Gray, and Breida. Probably just write them in, right? You got those 3 guys. Are they keeping 4 running backs? If not, are they gonna, because Corbin, and if they let Corbin and Brightwell go, if they got to go through waivers. Or they are going to be able to come back to the Giants and not be claimed. Possibly. So maybe one of those guys or so might go on the practice squad. But and then of course the Giants released, which would be releasing, which would basically be the veterans, meaning 4 years of service or more. So if you have, I believe the way it is, if you have under 4 years of service, okay, you're whatever, not the rookies, but you're not a vested veteran, I guess. So if you have under 4 years, so if you have 3 years or less of service, they have to waive you, and you have to clear waivers. And if you clear waivers, none of the other teams pick you up. All right, you can come back to the Giants. Maybe they can put you on the practice squad. But if another team picks you up, they have to put you on their 53-man roster. And basically you don't have much of a choice in that matter. If they release you, that's because you got 4 years of service or more, you're basically a free agent. So you can kind of go wherever you pick and choose. The Saints can come after you. If you have 6 years of service and you just been released and you got 6 years of service and the Saints want you, and you're going to be like, nah, I'm good. So you don't have to go there. You're a free agent. But also sometimes what winds up happening is like, especially like, what would you say? These veterans, it's happened before. It's kind of like a wink, wink, or a handshake or something like that. Like say they let Cole Beasley go, right? I'm just saying, they say, they wink, wink. All right, Cole, we're going to release you. Okay. You're going to be a free agent, but we got to do some paper. We're going to, get the final 53. Then we're going to put somebody on injury reserve or something or whatever, however it want, and then we'll bring you back and we'll put you back on the practice squad or something like that. So things like that do happen, especially if you're a veteran. They can just maybe release you, but let you know that they're going to wind up bringing you back and maybe putting you on the practice squad or however it winds up happening. But so the guys that they released who are now basically free agents was Bauer. I was kind of surprised because I think it was Patty Trainer. I believe she was talking about Bauer as far as looking at his. Oh, let me see here. I got him right here. Oh, there we go. All right, off-season grades. No. Hold on there. That's offense. Let's go to defense here. Now, how did Bauer do? Bauer. I mean, Patty Trainer was kind of talking Bauer up. He had, now this was PFF. That's all I'm going by. Okay. He played 23 snaps. He graded out as 65.3 in week 3. Week 2. Preseason 2. Bauer. Where is he? Where's he at here? He graded out as 60.3. And week 1. Where's Bauer at here? Belton, Bauer. He graded out as 66.3. So, I mean, he didn't do too bad. He would be a backup. He's not a starter for you, nothing like that. So he didn't wind up doing too bad overall. But I mean, Patty Trainer was kind of talking him up. Like she seemed to think that she had to put a video out of one of her initial 53, which I think was last week. And I think she had him on there. But she did have Baldonado, getting the axe. I think it was releasing him. But as I said, once again, we'll have to wait and see. Defensive tackle Brandon Bryant, that was no big. I mean, as I said, because basically the thing it seems like it's going to be. Obviously, you got Sexy Dex, you got Leo Lyon, you got Nunez Roaches, and you got Ashawn Robinson. You got those 4. You can almost pencil in Jordan Riley because if they let him go, chances are he ain't coming back. So you got those 5 guys. The thing is, what you don't know is, they're going to keep 5 interior defense, or they're going to go for 6. If they're keeping 6, right, it's either going to be Ryder Anderson or DJ Davidson, right? One of those 2. And then maybe they will let one of the other guys go. Maybe he can clear waivers, and maybe if they say they waive Ryder Anderson, if he clears waivers, maybe they'll get him back on the practice squad. So that was the only thing. I mean, basically with Brandon Bryant, I mean, as far as he didn't show much. Probably didn't really expect a whole heck of a lot from him. So he was one of the ones to be released. Corey Cunningham, that's kind of I mean, they had the Cunningham and Davenport, Corey Cunningham and Julian Davenport. Yeah, that was kind of a no-brainer there. I mean, Cunningham certainly had some struggles. I mean, where are we at here? Oh, that's defense. Let's go to offense here. According to Pro Football Focus here, once again, what did Cunningham? Oh, yeah, my God. The 2 guys they let go, all right? Corey Cunningham, okay, he played 70. Basically, he played, I guess. Actually, you know what? Cunningham played more plays than anybody on offense. So he was in there for every snap. Every snap. He played 74 plays on offense. 28 run blocking and 46 pass blocking. So he played right tackle. I'm not sure. I don't know if he switched them around a little bit, but pretty much PFF has him here at right tackle with 74 snaps. He graded out at 39.3. His pass blocking was at 47.9. His run blocking was at 33.7. Just horrible. I mean, he did not have a good night. Then also the other one, which they let go, was Julian Davenport. I mean, sorry, buddy. Sorry. My dog. They got him here. He played 43 snaps at left tackle, 26 pass blocking, and 17 run blocking. His pass blocking was a 7.1. All right. His run blocking was a 32.3. So his overall grade last night was a 23.1. I mean, that's just, but it goes to show you the lack of talent, and then once again, it's PFF. That's all I'm going by. Matt Parrott had some nice run blocks in there. He did have some problems in there too. But basically last night on offensive side, the bottom 4 guys on offense, 3 of them were tackles. Matt Parrott, Corey Cunningham, and Julian Davenport. Matt Parrott, they had it graded out at 46.4. His pass blocking was a 33.9. His run block was a 53.2. Carl Banks pointed out a couple times during the broadcast that Matt, they were making fun. Well, all the things that we make fun of Matt Parrott, he just had a good run block on that one. And then I remember there's one or two times he, like back-to-back plays, he was complimenting Matt Parrott for his run blocking. What he wound up doing. But he struggled. He certainly struggled. But as of right now, Matt Parrott's still on the team. But as far as letting go, Corey Cunningham and Julian Davenport, those guys, once again, according to PFF, but also you could kind of as well see, if you watch the blocking and all, there were some problems, especially at the tackle. I mean, how many times did Tommy DeVito drop back to pass, and within half a second, there was like 7 guys all over him. He's just like dodging guys left and right, running for his life. I mean, he did not have obviously it's preseason. You got third stringers in there. So basically to ask for a clean pocket all the time you're asking quite a bit. But, how many times did he really have a nice clean pocket? I mean, it seemed like he was just dropping back to pass, obviously keeping his eyes downfield, but having a very good pocket presence, knowing who's coming in over here or who's coming after him over here, but he was always ducking and dodging and jiving and running for his life. I mean, the pass to Sills right at the end of the game there, he was in the pocket and he had a run to his left, and then he wound up, eyeing up Sills, and he threw the pass, and Sills made a nice catch in the end zone. We got a good touchdown at him. We got the 2-point conversion, but he had to scramble out of the pocket on that one. I mean, how many times did he have to either run out of the pocket, right, to avoid pressure, run to avoid pressure, or have to make a dump off or something like that real fast because there was pressure coming to him? I mean, it was not pretty. It was not pretty. So, I mean, we're really doing a nice job as far as building up the offensive line, the starting offensive line, right? We still might have a question mark here. Who's going to start at left guard? Are we going to keep Glowinski after this season? Can Ezeudu get in there? What can McKeithen do? And so we got some question marks there. But as far as having Andrew Thomas and then Evan Neal and of course Michael Schmitz, we have 3 out of the 5, so we're doing good. It's a process, but we still need to add some quality depth to the offensive line. Now they could hire me. They can go in there. They got depth. I'm depth. I'm not good depth, but I'm depth. So, that's something we're certainly gonna have to start working on. All right, without question. Let's see who else. And then they wind up letting Jaden Mickens go as well too. Now, it's the same thing there. It was kind of some of them where we had there. The wide receivers. I mean, with Mickens and Pimpleton. You just don't. It really just, didn't really have a good feeling that they were going to be able to sticking around. I said the question now is, what about Crowder? It'd be interesting. And once again, did David Sills do enough in that game to merit staying on the 53? We'll have to say. Once again, we'll find out on Tuesday. I guess whatever 401 or they want to let him out. But so they let Robinson go. They let Colin Johnson go. Said they waived him. Colin Johnson gave it his all in an attempt to return from a torn Achilles suffered last season, but a knee injury, which also, let's not forget about that as well too, right? In the preseason game against the Lions. So unfortunately, that was the first preseason game, which of course hampered him for the second preseason game, and quite possibly maybe hampered him for the third preseason game, right? The knee injury interrupted his summer this year to where he wasn't heard from again in the preseasons. That's it. It's a shame, but hey, you never know, right? It doesn't mean his career's over. It doesn't mean we won't ever have him on our roster ever again. Stranger things happen, right? And then they got Kevin Akins. It says Akins was brought in to help bolster the defensive line depth, while Nunez, Roaches, and Ashawn Robinson were getting ramped up for their respective setbacks. Because remember, we had Davidson was out, right? Nunez, Roaches was out, for a little while. We had Robinson was out, so we only had, we had Leo, right? And we had Sexy Dexy. Then we had, some guys that were injured. So they kept bringing guys in, right, to help just give some depth in there. But, Akins, who was a long shot to make the roster, didn't flash all summer. Then, of course, another one was Donovan Jeter. Same situation as with Akins and Bryant as well. Though Jeter did manage 3 tackles against the Jets and could have some practice squad appeal. So, we'll have to wait and see. Darren Evans, right? Evans didn't help himself with his lack of physicality in the game against the Jets. He often fell off tackles or bailed away from contact. That's not something you want to be doing, especially if you're trying to make the roster. That's not something you want to do. You want to do something out there, and the coach is like, damn, did you see that hit? Holy, what was? Oh, wow, that was Evans. Nice hit, buddy. You got to lay it all on the line out there. Because the thing is, these games, these are your resume, right? So if you don't make the Giants roster, right, there's 31 other teams out there who are looking for players. And if they're like, Darren Evans, yeah, he's out there. Right, let's pop that tape in there. How did he do against he was with the Giants against the Jets? Kind of no contact there. Like he ran away from contact there. He missed a tackle there. All right, we'll get somebody else. So you're writing your resume. So if you don't make this team, you want to put something out there that's going to be wow. That some other team's going to be. Oh, this guy's got some promise to him, right? But he was also the guilty party of the Jets' last touchdown when he whiffed on that tackle attempt. All right. They got contracts were terminated. Jaden Mickens caught both of his targets for 23 yards, showing excellent avoidability on one of them, making 2 defenders miss in the game against the Jets. He finished with 4 receptions for 41 yards. Let's see here. Returning 2 kickoffs for 48 yards and a long of 30. Unfortunately, he's a slot receiver stuck in a receiver room full of slot guys. Yep. Mickens' quickness could, however, land him with another club. That's true. They have defensive lineman Brandon Bryant, as was the case with Akins. Bryant was brought in to reinforce the training camp depth at defensive tackle. Basically, he really, it was a very long shot to make the team. They have offensive Julian Davenport. Davenport was a late addition to the training camp roster, but didn't impress, playing mostly at right tackle. He allowed far too many edge pressures, leaving the Giants to continue their search for tackle depth. Yep. Corey Cunningham. Cunningham showed his versatility playing tackle and guard, but he couldn't cut off the pressure that kept coming at him. Nope. And of course, we got Tashawn Bauer. Bauer didn't make much noise against the Jets. He might have had a slim chance before, which is this who wrote this? Is this Patty Traynor? Is this here? Yeah, Patty Traynor. She was the one talking up Bauer in one of her videos. She was talking up Bauer. Right, he had she said he had a chance before, but once again, also that too. This is before Isaiah Simmons arrived as well too, so that kind of made him maybe more expendable, right? Let's see here, and then she brings up Bryce Ford Wheaton heading toward a roster spot for special teams. However, he suffered the knee injury in the first half of the preseason finale, which turned out to be the dreaded torn ACL. Absolutely unbelievable. Unbelievable, really, really horrible. But if we go through the grades, right, for the team, Tommy DeVito graded out the best against the Jets. Right, I'm just going to basically, actually, him and his sidekick David Sills graded out the best according to PFF. That's all I'm going by here. Tommy DeVito graded out a 75.7, so that was very, very impressive. You kind of also wonder, right, how much, they take into account. Now, I don't know, right, as far as, 97.8% of the time he's under extreme pressure, you know what I mean? And he's just running for his life, there's, how much does that help or hurt him or, with the pressure and, as far as with his grading here. But he graded 75.7. David Sills was a 68.9. James Robinson, who is no longer on the team, he graded out a 66. Eric Gray was 63.6. What was it? He was in there for 27 snaps. Eric Gray. Lawrence Cager was in there for 21 snaps, graded at a 61.6. Mark Lewinsky was just he played. They got right guard. He played just 8 snaps. He graded at a 60.3. Wyatt Davis, unfortunately, what a shame. I remember Bob Papa was talking, and Wyatt Davis is in there now at right tackle. And I thought it was 2 plays later, but apparently it was 3 plays later, and that's when he wound up getting injured, his ankle. Looked like his knee got bent odd too, but you can see his in the pile that got rolled up on, looked like his ankle. So that I haven't heard nothing yet. So maybe it's, hopefully it's just a bad sprain, but the problem is he was trying to fight to make the team. And if he's going to be out with a sprain or something like that for 3-4 weeks or whatever, there's a good chance he might be gone. But, he played 3 snaps. He graded out a 59.9. Colin Johnson, who is it on the team, only played in 6 snaps. So that's either good or bad, right? Meaning it's like, if you're on the quite a possibility of maybe not making the team and they only put you in there for 6 snaps, that means you're either really still injured, your knee, you don't have a prayer in HELL hockey sticks and making a team, or it's like, or you're pretty much on the team. You just get a couple snaps, man. You're on the team. We don't want you getting hurt. So just play 6 snaps of this series or whatever it winds up being, and we're going to yank you. We'll play this one series, and you get in there, keep you fresh and all that. We'll pull you off because you're on the team. We don't want you getting hurt. So, so that's either good or bad, but he only played in 6 snaps. Okay, so Ben Bredesen played at center for 8 snaps, graded at 59.4, which once again, I mean, you want these guys in there, playing as many different positions as they can, especially obviously in preseason. Sean Harlow at right guard played 66 snaps. He graded out at 58.3. Ryan Jones at tight end, he 56 snaps, graded at 57.6. Now he's kind of have a hard time, I think, maybe making the roster. But Shane Lemieux was in there at left guard for 66 snaps. So basically, Harlow was the right guard and Lemieux was the left guard for basically the whole game. Lemieux was 66 snaps, graded out of 57. His pass blocking was an 83.8. Very impressive. His run blocking was not very good, 48.2. Our run blocking, is just, you can just, especially up the middle, it's just not special. I mean, just the backups, it's just not special. Yeah, I mean, all right, Jaden Mickens played 54 snaps. He graded out 57. Jalen Hyatt, he was in there for 7 snaps, 55.4. All right. Of course, he burned a little sauce on the side Gardner on that first. I think it was the first play from the game. I mean, he put like on a move like he was chopping his feet, like maybe he was gonna do an out pattern or something like that. Kind of sauce kind of broke down, right? Getting ready to cover him, and then Hyatt just put on the Jets and blew right past him. I mean, a good pass. I mean, we're looking at whatever, a 40, 50-yard gain right there. But that was another very good pass. Sterling Shepard was in there for 8, 55.1. Khalil Pimpleton was in there for 44 snaps. He graded at 54.6. Chris Myrick, the tight end / fullback / H-back / left tackle / punter / water boy, was in there for 11 snaps. He graded at 53.3. Deshaun Corbin, 29 snaps, graded at 52.6. Marcus McKeithen, he was in right guard for 20 snaps, 51.8. Joshua Zudu was in left guard for 8 snaps, 49.6. Jamison Crowder, he was in there for 28 snaps, 46.6. Matt Parrott was at 46.4. Tyrod Taylor, 8 snaps, he graded out 42.7. And of course, then you got Cunningham and Davenport. So it was not, not some stellar scores there. That's for sure. I mean, it just goes to show, we need is the, especially the as I said, the quality of depth of the offensive line is just, we have the first string and then there's the second, And this thing, I mean, a lot of it, maybe in the beginning, maybe the Jets, obviously maybe had their first stringers in there. I don't know exactly because, as I said, I was watching the thing on my phone. It was kind of tough to figure out. I mean, actually, I had Sauce Gardner in there, so they had to have some of their starters in there. So initially, we had some of our backups going against some of the starters. But then after a while, it was backups against backups. And, if you're getting overpowered, I mean, they had like 5 sacks. I forgot what it was. It was like 10 quarterback hits. I mean, that is not good at all. We got some room for improvement there. That's for darn sure. All right. So then we got Deontay Johnson. This is for against the Jets. He played 54 snaps in the inside, 28 snaps. I'm sorry. He's number 54. 28 snaps in the interior linebacker position, middle linebacker position, whatever you want to call it. 72.5. Very impressive. Carter Coughlin. I mean, he made his presence early on when he was there, when he was in there. He played 15 snaps at middle linebacker and graded out at a 70. Jordan Riley, nose tackle, was in for 18 snaps and graded out at 67.3. And good old Nunez Roches was in there. He played 10 snaps, 66.1. Now, the thing is, is that he played the 10 snaps. He graded out only 66. But out of 10 snaps, he only played one run. His forte is stopping the run. He does. I mean, he obviously can rush the passer, but he's not going to give you a lot as far as rushing the passer. I mean, he's more better at he said, I think somebody asked him, as far as stopping the run, he's like, I do that in my sleep, so he's more suited to stop the run. So he graded out a 66.1. Darnay Holmes, which I don't know, is he fighting for his the 53-man roster? Is he fighting for his life on that or not? He played his 16 snaps. He graded out 65.9. Deshaun Bauer, not on the team anymore. He graded out 65.3. Dane Belton was in just 10 snaps. He graded out 64.9. Javarius Owens, Gio, right? Strong safety at 47 snaps, graded at 63.3. Baldonado, he was in there for 20 snaps, graded at 62.7. Ojulari was in there for 59 snaps, graded at 62.5. Kobe Smith, defensive tackle, graded at 62.5. He was in there for 32 snaps. Toman Fox, 41 snaps, graded at 59.4. Because he missed some tackles. His tackling grade was a 27.5, so that really hurt his overall score of a 59.4. So either he missed tackle. Oh, there's there. Well, okay. Okay. He missed one tackle. So he must have had like what do you have? 2 tackles? He had 2 tackles and he missed one. So he missed 33.3% of his tackles. So that's not good. So that's what brought his tackling grade down to a 27.5. So that's what really hurt his 59.4 overall grade. Now, if he did not miss a tackle, according to PFF, once again, that's all I'm going by, his 59.4 probably would have been well into the 60s. Hottie was in there for just 8 snaps, graded out of 58.1. Alex Cook was in there for 51 snaps. He graded at 57.7. Oshane Ximines was in there for 38 snaps, graded at 54.3. Donovan Jeter, nose tackle, was in there for 27 snaps, graded at 53.6. Jamon Green was in there for 37 snaps, graded at 52.1. Beavers was in there, middle linebacker with 34 snaps, 51.2. Brandon Bryant, he's no longer on the team. It's 31 snaps, 50.7. Darren Evans, 47 snaps, graded out of 50.3. Isaiah Simmons, he was only in there for 6 snaps, graded out of 50.1. They gave him a 20. One of the thing here is they gave him a 24.8 missed tackle. His tackling was a 24.8. Now, apparently he had one tackle opportunity, and that was he missed it. So that's what really, really wound up hurting Isaiah Simmons' I guess his grade. So apparently, according to PFF, hold on, Isaiah Simmons had one opportunity to make a tackle and he missed it. Now I don't know if that's when that pass rush when he blew up the running back and he was trying to I guess grab like Aaron Rodgers' shoulder pad, something, whatever, trying to, and Rodgers shook him off and scrambled out, and he wound up like trying to just throw the ball away as he fell to the ground. I don't know if that's the missed tackle they're talking about, because once again, as I said, I got to see the second half, a lot of the second half on my computer at home. So a lot of the third and fourth quarter, I got to see on a bigger screen, but I'm watching the game on my phone, the first and second quarter. And obviously the guys are so small, it's kind of tough to see all the guys. So as far as what tackle they're talking about that Simmons wound up missing, unless it was that one against Rodgers where he rushed the quarterback off the edge, blew up the running back who was trying to block him, and he barely missed grabbing Rodgers, I guess, his shoulder or so. That's the one they're talking about. Okay, I'll live with that one because he really helped really destroy the play. He did a great job there. So Isaiah Simmons, his first game ever with the New York Giants, let it be written that PFF graded him out at a 50. Kevin Akins was in their defensive tackle. He played 12 snaps, graded out of 49.3. Zion Gilbert was in there for just 5 snaps, graded out of 33.7. And Bobby McCain, unfortunately, 2 snaps, he graded out of 31. As I said, it's a shame it's just the 2 snaps because he really wound up getting, that was a tough hit. That was a tough hit. Hopefully, you can see it looked like the head-to-head contact. You can see his head snapping. So hopefully it's nothing bad. As I said, the problem is that, especially with a concussion, you don't know how long it's going to keep him out for. And if he's on the roster bubble, you don't know if that's going to cause him to not make the team. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll find out. There'll be some more roster moves, I'm sure, tomorrow before, even the official, you have to get down to 53. I'm sure the Giants are going to have some more guys that they'll let go tomorrow. But you can certainly see after the preseason, the Giants, there's certainly some stuff to be excited about without question, but also you can see there are certainly still some question marks, especially as far as the depth. And this is where you can see sometimes like the upper echelon, because like with the the Eagles, how we had a hard time rushing the quarterback with our backups, so as far as quality depth, right? I think we had 4 sacks, I think it was, in the 3 preseason games. We got some hits and all of that, but we had 4 sacks in 3 games. If you equate that out, that would be 31 sacks for a season. Not impressive. Not impressive at all. We got some pressure and all that, but if our guys stay healthy, Azeez and Kayvon and Sexy Dexy and Leo and and Isaiah and all, we're gonna get some pressure. We're gonna get some sacks. It's just the depth after those guys. And it's the same thing. When you put Saquon in there, you put the speed demons and Darren Waller out wide, open up that defense, right? That's going to help our 5 offensive linemen. So the run game should be better. Than it was than the backups in the preseason. So that should be better. However, you can see as far as, quality depth, with the offensive line, we still have a little ways to go. Some teams, I said, like with the Eagles, they bring it. How many guys that had sacks last year, like double-digit sack? Just disgusting. How many guys that they had? They were just bringing guys in off the bench and all that who had like 10. It's just unbelievable, right? So it just goes to show you some of the upper echelon, teams. You can just keep bringing in. Maybe a guy gets injured, they bring somebody in who's almost just as good as he is. Or some teams that, maybe they're so-and-so, their guard goes down. Well, they bring in somebody who's just about as good as him. So, but we're certainly getting better without question. So I'll be back again tomorrow. I'm sure, as I said, there'll be some more news The Giants made some roster moves on Sunday. I'm sure they'll be making some more roster moves on Tuesday. So I'll be back again for that. So Terrence, as always, buddy, good talking to you. It's been 54, almost 55 minutes. So whoever spent any time watching me live here, thank you. Or if anybody spends any time watching a replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants! Woo!